This is your lay of the land for Bluetooth hearing aids in 2021. I'll talk about recent advancements, popular models, and what to expect for the future. Hey, what's up? Jeff here at Zip Hearing. Before we start, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, if you want to chat about any of this stuff throughout the video, just click there. Now, I made a video like this back in 2018, but it's time for a fresh look at this topic because things have changed, luckily. Back then, most Bluetooth hearing aids only worked with iPhones, and if you didn't have an iPhone and you wanted a Bluetooth connection between your phone and your hearing aids, you had to wear one of these Bluetooth streamer devices, which was kind of annoying. You also could only get Bluetooth hearing aids in a receiver in canal style. Luckily, none of that is true anymore. There are now several brands that can directly connect to both iPhones and Android phones and some other phones. Bluetooth streamers are basically obsolete, and you can now get Bluetooth hearing aids in the in-the-ear styles. Now, they're not tiny yet, but they're getting there, and this is a nice, welcome advancement for a lot of people. So what's popular, what's selling well, what's available to you? To answer those questions, I'm going to pull from our own internal data. You know, being a nationwide seller of hearing aids gets us access to a lot of information in terms of what people are asking for, what audiologists are recommending, what is buggy, what has a high return rate. I say all that so that you know when I'm talking about models here, I'm not just going to pull names out of a hat. I'm talking about models that we see doing very well nationwide in terms of both how providers feel about them, but also our customers. All right, let's get into the models. This is going to be a lot of information, but don't worry, I will put links down here in the description and up here as I talk about each model. And if at any point in this video you're just like, all right, I know what I want, you can just click there and we'll get you a price and tell you where to get it locally. But here's an easy way to think about and kind of how to split up Bluetooth hearing aids so you can help narrow down your choices that way. First is figure out if you want a behind the ear or in the ear style. If you don't know anything about hearing aid styles and why you might want to pick one over the other, watch that video. I'm not going to get into it in this one. But 97% of our customers choose the behind the ear style, and for a few reasons. They're more comfortable, they come with more features, and there's just way more options on the market. So when you look at this style, there's a lot more to choose from. And if you're cool with that style, you have much better chances of finding a hearing aid that checks all your boxes. As compared to the in-the-ear models, there are much fewer choices. Our best-selling hearing aids for all of 2021 have been the Phonak Paradise and Oticon More, with really no close third place, but there is one I'll try to remember to mention at the end of this. Our bestseller is the Phonak Paradise, and it's a great hearing aid, but I think the reason it's our bestseller is just because Paradise can connect to every phone, even flip phones. Couple cool things that Paradise can do that no other hearing aid can. First is what's called air tap control. So you can tap your ear like this and answer calls that way, start or stop streaming music, or access virtual assistants like Siri. So you could be driving along and say, "Hey Siri, give me directions home," and then get turn-by-turn directions through your hearing aids. That is a feature I would use way too often. Heads up though, that AirTap feature, it's also a feature that our customers are telling us can be a bit buggy. Like they'll accidentally trigger it by hugging someone, or sometimes they'll do this and it just won't trigger. And this is actually a good spot to say that a lot of these newer features are pretty buggy. The core features that you want from Bluetooth hearing aids, like streaming audio and using your phone as a remote control for controlling the hearing aids, all good there, no real issues, except for anytime there's iOS and Android updates. They can be a little buggy after that for a month or so. But just keep that in mind when you read about some of these features from different manufacturers. Don't be surprised if they don't work as advertised. And if you get Bluetooth hearing aids, that's kind of what you're signing up for, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but it's like I recently put in landscape lights at my house, and against the advice of the electrician, I chose the ones that could be controlled through Bluetooth because I figured, hey, most of the time they'll work just fine and I'll love them when they do. And that's kind of how I feel about Bluetooth hearing aids too. The second thing that Paradise does that no other hearing aid does is that it has microphones on the hearing aid itself. That means when you're on the phone, you don't have to hold the phone right here. The mics on the hearing aids will pick up your voice, and that's how the person you're talking to hears you. But heads up, just like I was just saying, that doesn't always work perfectly. It works perfectly when you're in a quiet environment like this. Like if I were to use my phone right now to make a call, the person I'm talking to wouldn't even know that I'm talking through my hearing aids. But if I was in a noisy place, that person's going to say, "Hey, do you have me on speakerphone?" Because those mics on the hearing aid are going to pick up all the ambient noise in the environment. So the quieter your environment, the better that feature is going to work. Okay, so that's the Paradise, our best seller, but a really close second is the Oticon More, and it's not a close second because of any unique Bluetooth features. This hearing aid is equipped with all the basic Bluetooth features. It can connect to iPhones and newer Android phones, But the reason it's so popular is it's just a great all-around hearing aid that also happens to have Bluetooth. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess and say if you need hearing aids, one of the hardest environments for you to hear in is a place with noise, like a restaurant. The way Oticon is going about helping you hear better in noise is the reason this hearing aid is so popular. They've got a unique approach to separating speech from noise, and I do my best to explain how it works in this video. But this hearing aid is very well received by customers and has the confidence of a lot of hearing providers, maybe more than any other hearing aid on the market, at least from my perspective. All right, we're still talking about behind the ear models. I will get to the in the ear models in a minute, but I gotta mention the Starkey Livio Ai. If you just ask me which hearing aid has the coolest all-around set of features, which hearing aid is really pushing the envelope in this space, it's the Livio Ai. Starkey was not playing around when they released this. They looked at other manufacturers and said, oh, you can stream audio? That's cute. We can stream audio, we can monitor the wearer's social engagement, do fitness tracking, language translation, fall detection. Starkey really is the first company to say, this isn't just a hearing aid, this is a piece of wearable tech, and this device is going to play a more active role in your life and in keeping you healthy. Because if you didn't know, there are a bunch of comorbidities associated with untreated hearing loss, so hearing aids are a critical part of holistic hearing health, and that's how Starkey approached designing the Livio Ai. Now, it bears repeating one more time, a lot of these features, a little buggy. If you don't believe me, check the scores of all the apps on the Apple or Play Store. They're pretty bad. Real Bluetooth hearing aids that work like directly connecting to phones with apps have only been around in the hearing aid industry for about 7 years now. So this is still new territory for hearing aid manufacturers, and you're gonna see it when you use some of those features sometimes. So if you're researching Bluetooth hearing aids and you see a feature you like and you're gonna buy a hearing aid for that feature, have a frank discussion with your hearing provider and say, look, does this feature actually work as advertised? If you think I'm sour on Bluetooth hearing aids, I absolutely am not. Just want to be crystal clear with you. If you're like most people and the main reason you want Bluetooth hearing aids is so you can stream phone calls, music, and control your hearing aids through your phone, that is all good. Those are going to work just how you want. Okay, for in-the-ear models, there's not a lot of options, but let me lead with this. Chances are if you want an in-the-ear model, you want an in-the-ear model so that it can be completely invisible or hidden. I've got some bad news. It doesn't really exist. Some manufacturers will say that they can make a totally hidden in-the-ear model with Bluetooth, but in my experience, these hearing aids always end up being larger and more noticeable than people wanted. But your best bet if you want a Bluetooth hearing aid that directly connects to your phone and doesn't require a Bluetooth streamer, I think you should look at the Resound Lynx Quattro. I'll put a link below. The reason I recommend Lynx Quattro is because it does connect directly to iPhones and some Android phones, and if your ear canal is big enough, it can truly fit like a CIC is supposed to and hide pretty well. But if your ear canal is not large enough, it's going to end up fitting more like an ITC hearing aid. But if you want the smallest with Bluetooth, this is your best bet for now. I have a hunch that in the next few months, there's going to be more options in this area. So if this is what you're looking for, just click there and we'll let you know if it exists yet. But for now, Lynx Quattro is your best bet in my opinion. Now, assuming you don't care if the hearing aid can be seen by others, then I recommend checking out the Phonak Virto Marvel, sometimes called the Virto Black. This is the in-the-ear model version of the hearing aid we talked about at the beginning of this video, the Phonak Paradise. It's a super cool hearing aid, connects to all phones, has hands-free calling, direct Bluetooth, and excellent sound quality. We've had some really discerning customers with active lifestyles, busy working professionals buy this hearing aid and just be thrilled with its performance. So it's a solid choice, and you really can't go wrong with Phonak. They've really been leading the pack with Bluetooth hearing aids in the last few years. So what does the future look like for Bluetooth hearing aids? Well, for one, they're always getting smaller. I mean, everybody wants a small hearing aid, and manufacturers know this. And as soon as a chip containing Bluetooth can fit inside a tiny, all the way in their hearing aid, it'll exist, and it probably won't be long from now. What else? Connectivity is definitely going to improve. More manufacturers will make their hearing aids work with a wider amount of phones. And I think in the next few years, when you buy Bluetooth hearing aids, you probably won't even need to consider what phone you have because all hearing aids will work with all phones at that time, I assume. I mean, we're almost there now. And finally, in the next few years, we're going to see hearing aids that are compatible with the newest form of Bluetooth 5.2. If you haven't heard about this yet, it's the latest version of Bluetooth, and I'll put a link below that you can read. It gives a great overview. It's an interesting read. In short, it's going to mean improved streaming sound quality, less latency, better battery life, wider connectivity to devices like phones and TVs. And one that I'm pretty excited about is some venues like theaters and airports will be able to stream audio directly into your hearing aids if you want them. So if you can imagine like announcements from a loudspeaker going right into the hearing aids. So lots of good stuff coming in the next few years. I think with Bluetooth 5.2 and with just a lot of new competition in the market, your options for Bluetooth hearing aids are going to drastically expand in the next few years. And at the same time, I think prices are going to come down. And that's probably a good place to end. If you need help choosing a Bluetooth hearing aid, just click there. We'll give you a call and help you sort through your options. We can also quote prices, which will include local service. You're never going to get a sales pitch. We're just here to help you sort through your options. Before you go, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.